Hello guys, and welcome back. We are here in newgenICU. It's an honor and pleasure for me to find you guys back here. It's been a long time that we did anything here, but we kept this project, this YouTube channel in mind. We were working on different things, but now we are back here, and we are trying our best to actually give some content here. This is a new setup that we wanted to do, and me personally, I wanted to do some reaction video because I'm attracted to it for some reason, and I decided to have a setup, and this is the setup, and we're gonna do some reaction videos today. This is gonna be the first one. Please bear with me. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share, and please hit the notification bell, and also give a thumbs up. You know, just give us a comment. You know, it's always good to know what you guys think. But please be respectful. You know, in a comment goes crazy, but we want you guys to still give your opinion. But you know, we don't mind you giving your opinion, but just be careful and be respectful. That's what I pretty much wanted to say. So we're gonna start our reaction video with the Top G. As you know, the Top G is the one who's you know, pretty much blooming right now. It's just everybody's talking about it. I was like, yeah, why not do a reaction video with the latest one? Because you know, I mean, that's the trend. So we're gonna watch this, and we're gonna have part 1, 2, or 3, but I'm not gonna spend an hour here to just hold you guys to, you know, just this reaction video. I'm gonna do part 1 probably today, and part 2 probably tomorrow or the following days. But without further ado, let's get started.
Tonight on Piers Morgan Uncensored, one of the most infamous men in the world, Andrew Tate's misogynistic tirades have been viewed billions of times.
First of all, I mean, what would you call him? Misogynist? You know, it's just a weird way to present someone, you know, to introduce someone. It's like, oh, this guy's a misogynist. Yeah, that's a little off. But anyways, maybe I'm just reacting too quick.
Times online. He's now been effectively banned, though, from the internet. He doesn't think that's fair. Tonight, I'm going to try and work out if it is.
From London, this is Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Well, good evening from London, and welcome to a special edition of Piers Morgan Uncensored. Andrew Tate, one-on-one. He's the most famous man you probably never heard of, with billions of views online. At one point this year, more people were searching Google for Andrew Tate than Donald Trump or Kim Kardashian. A former professional kickboxer, he was kicked off Big Brother in 2016 after a video emerged of him striking a woman. What they now both claim was a consensual sex game. He's since made millions as a pornographer and casino owner in Romania, but it's his online videos that have made him notorious across the world. Posing as a playboy with fast cars, cigars, weapons and cash, he rants about his often scandalous views on women.
Or instruct a female to provide sustenance. Cook.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes.
Tells young men they can get as rich as him by paying for his digital life lessons.
I have 100 business tips I'm going to teach you, which will allow you to make your own money instantly.
But amid a global media backlash, the net has closed on Andrew Tate. While millions still share his videos, he's effectively banned from the web, booted off Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. To his fans, he's a misunderstood satirist and the victim of big tech censorship. To many others, he's a malicious misogynist. Tonight, I'll try and get to the truth. Well, some of the opinions Andrew Tate shares in his videos are undeniably deeply offensive. We're going to show you some of them on this show. I think you should see them for yourself, not simply hear what he says about them or what other people say about them. Tens of millions of people across the world follow Andrew Tate, and with a big following comes a big responsibility, as well as a public interest in holding his views to account. If outrageous opinions are read aloud, they can be challenged and exposed for what they are. If they're silenced, the person holding these views can become a martyr. So that's why I invited Andrew Tate to come here tonight, and he joins me now live. So Andrew, well, welcome, first of all. You've come all the way from Romania to do this interview.
Correct.
What do you hope to achieve from this interview? Why are you here?
It'd be interesting to have a conversation with you. You've certainly been the subject of your own divided opinions in the world. There's a lot of people who would say some of the things you say are perhaps dangerous or toxic. So I thought you'd be a good person to speak to about this subject.
I didn't know much about you before this year, and then I suddenly became very aware of you, as the world did, because, as I said earlier, you were the #1 subject searched on Google ahead of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was even possible. Why did you get suddenly so popular stroke infamous, do you think?
I exploded. I certainly didn't do that with magic. I've been on the internet for a very long time. I think in the world we live in now, as the other side, the people who disagree with me, as they get more and more tyrannical in their censorships and their hate mobs, etc., as standard masculine practices are deemed toxic, I didn't put a magic spell on everybody. I managed to accumulate a large amount of affinity with the male populace across the Western world because I'm simply saying things that many men believe, think, and feel.
The problem I would say is, I want to play you just a clip off the top. This is from Joe Rogan, who's somebody I absolutely love.
Sure.
And I think it explains to me what I presume my issue with you is going to be, right?
Correct.
And you,
All right,
you have absolutely got the right to try and persuade me otherwise.
Sure.
But Joe Rogan said...
It seems like Andrew Tate knew about the video. Is pretty much ready, but his body language is telling something else. I don't know if I'm the only one noticing that his body language is a little, it's not off, but it's like he's uncomfortable or something. I don't know.
This about you.
My 12-year-old and my 14-year-old asked me about Andrew Tate.
And
My
what'd you say?
14-year-old
What'd you
asked
say?
me, I said he's a legit world champion kickboxer. I go, I like him a lot. Why do you like him? And I was asking him. And they said he says a lot of funny stuff on Twitter and TikTok. He f***ed up with the misogynist stuff.
Yes.
Because if he didn't do that, if he just said...
Well, I don't know why everybody's calling him misogynists. Because, his views on women? I don't know.
pro-male stuff.
Up to 50% off
Sorry for the ads.
on Flight to Africa. Get your seats now. With ASAP tickets.
So I thought that was interesting, because when I've gone over everything that's been at the centre of the debate about Andrew Tate, I come down with Joe Rogan in the sense that there's a lot of stuff you say I agree with. I've got 3 sons in their 20s. It's not easy, actually, being a young male in the modern world. And I think a lot of the things that you say about that can resonate with them. The problem comes with the, 10, 20% or whatever of your output, which on the face of it appears to be blatant misogyny. And when you couple that with your massive influence and huge reach, that is why the social media companies have decided to effectively cancel you. I don't believe in cancellation. I don't believe in censorship particularly. That's why I've invited you to come on the show. But I do think a lot of the things you've said are blatant misogyny. Do you accept that? I
mean, having a different point of view, and then being called misogynist, it's really off, because you guys are claiming that your country is free and freedom of expression, and all of a sudden someone says something about women and it's canceled. Why it's canceled? Just because he has a personal opinion? I mean, that's one person who has an opinion. Then what does it matter to you guys to cancel him? Because he has a really high reach, or what? I really find it sorry. I really find it really funny to me that all of a sudden an opinion of someone will offend you to the point where you will fight and do whatever in your power to cancel, to censor, or to silence that person. I mean, you also have an opinion on things. Would you like to be canceled or censored? I don't know, man. You created this.
So you made a very interesting point there.
Oh, man. Sorry about that.
You just said on the face of it appeared to be blatantly misogynistic. I understand that on the face of some of the long format content I've made, if you're going to take a few seconds out of hours chop it up, put it all over social media, accompanied with my massive fame, then things can absolutely not be taken out of context. I do not hate women in any regard. I have no negative relationship with women. No women have come forward saying I've hurt them. I have no criminal record for hurting women. There's no way I can be seen as the face or the devil in regards to how men treat women on the planet. I'm absolutely and utterly the opposite. I believe in protecting and providing. I've been misunderstood. There's been large contingents of people who have tried very hard to purport lies about me. And the truth of the matter is, I've been producing content for a very long time. Hours and hours of videos been cut down to 2 or 3 seconds of clip. Those clips have gone viral and people misunderstand me.
But I think you've used this phrase of being taken out of context, and I'm not sure that is correct in the sense that it still comes out of your mouth. And some of the things some of the things you've said, I just think are blatantly.
Well, let's do them. Let's hear them.
Let's go through some.
Sure.
Right. So you said this about Me Too / rape. This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania. In Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. You go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988. They'll say, well, you should have done something about it back then.
Yeah, so the point I was making was obviously at the height of the Me Too scandal, and also if we look at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, there's been a lot of high-profile cases where men have been accused of things they did not do without evidence, and their lives have been completely and utterly destroyed. Right. When I say these things, people sit and say that, oh, he hates women. I don't hate women. I think rape is disgusting. I would take a stronger stance on rape than the British government. I think these people should face the death penalty. But to sit and say that women without evidence can go forward and just make up accusations against men, even though they've been repeatedly proven to destroy men's lives at will, is absolutely and utterly
What about a woman who was raped back in 1988 and goes to the police?
Then the man should face absolute and complete justice.
But do you understand that when that clip appears on TikTok, as a clip, and all right...
As a clip, completely.
Okay.
Yeah, as a clip. I mean, if it's a clip, it's a clip. You know, you have to find the complete, video to watch the entire thing in order for you to understand what's really going on. You can't judge someone based on the clip, and then those clips start pretty weirdly. It's like someone just start talking. You're like, oh, what are you talking about before this or after this? Sometimes people, they just in their feelings, and they're trying to just catch anything that will give them some type of, I don't know, some type of hit. And Andrew Tate was the one who was giving people hits, and for some reason he got misunderstood. But I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying. Basically that's what was happening back then. And today, if you're a rapist, I mean, you have to face the consequences of it, which is death or whatever. But you destroying men's life just because a woman comes and say he raped me, that's not really a smart thing to do, because where's the evidence, where's the proof, where's the whatever documents needs to be submitted in order for you guys, I would say, the justice to condemn that person. You have to have enough proof, or you have to have enough evidence in order for you to make that judgment. But just a claim or like a speech with no proof or evidence is just it's not good. It's destroying man, and they're talking about Johnny Depp with his ex-wife, and that's pretty much what we witnessed. It's like, yeah, the guy was abused, but nobody took his side because he's a man, and thank God we saw the truth, and the truth set him free.
Okay, but it's still something that came out of your mouth. Do you accept that when that appears on TikTok, a lot of young, maybe not as smart as you, young men, right? Impressionable, teenagers, will read that and go, what's he saying here? Is he saying that rape doesn't exist?
No, I completely. I'm not going to sit here as a professional and say that I can't be taken out of context. What I will say is that one small sentence you've taken was from a 1-hour video where I explained that, of course, rape is disgusting. Of course, everybody should be punished for their crimes regardless of when they happen. But people are not perfect, male and female. And if you give women the opportunity to destroy men's lives without evidence, there's going to be a contingent of women who will do that.
Yes. I mean, that's 100% true.
Trying to make a balanced and nuanced argument in a world where people have no attention span, they're going to take a few seconds, put it online, decide someone's good or bad, not be interested in the longer format video, and here I am No, I'm certainly a person who takes personal responsibility. That's who I am as a person. But we live in a world now with TikTok videos 5 or 6 seconds long. There's no content.
Do you think women are the property of men?
No. The point I was making...
Why have you said they are?
Because I made a religious point. I said that when a man marries a woman, the woman's father walks her down the aisle, and hands her away to the man. Traditionally, this is what it says in the Bible. I'm a religious person. I believe in God. I live in the...
Do you think...
I don't know what that was. That was kind of funny. I mean, I kind of watch a bunch of video of Andrew Tate, but it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But he says he's religious. But anyways, I mean, do you, man? Do you, man?
I think that the woman becomes the men.
I think she takes his last name.
I mean, let's watch the clip that you said about this so that we can get it in context.
I mean, Andrew is just ready to come back. It's just ready for anything. You can see his body language in the beginning was a little, you know, a little shy. But later on, he's like, yeah, this is a fight. I have to fight for myself, for my personality, for my name, for my legacy or something. And he turned it to this beast that he is right now.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle to marry the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Absolutely.
But I've been married twice, as it turns out.
I think the problem is the property name that's creating all of this. It shouldn't be saying like you're my property. Property means, you know, I don't know. It means it owns you and it can do whatever it wants with you because you just got bought. You know? And that's a little where I think that's a little legitimate, you know, a little off. You know, a legitimate point there. I think that's the choice of word was a little hard, but I mean the concept is there. It's not a property, but it's I don't know. I would say ownership. It looks like it, but anyways, you guys give me your thoughts on that. But I'm not saying it's a property or ownership or something. But when you look at the whole concept, you can clearly see that it's there's this type of transaction happening there.
Occasions, I didn't believe that the woman was being handed to me as chattel, as property.
Perhaps the way the reason I'm asked that question repeatedly, and I'm asked in a loaded way.
So would you rephrase what you said there?
No.
Now that's an interesting point about phrasing. The way I would say things before I was famous, I have to take personal responsibility and accept that if I make a video that 500 people see and 1% of them misunderstand it, that's not a problem. If I make a video that 5 million people see and 1% of them understand.
So specifically on that point, I think my sister is her husband's property.
She took his last name. She married him. She wanted to join his family. She has said it herself.
Right. So she's
still a sovereign individual. She's absolutely not a sovereign individual.
Property means that the husband owns your sister.
Listen, my friend, if we want to argue about this, you need to go back to the Bible, to the Quran. You need to argue with religious.
No, I'm not talking about anything in the Bible or Quran.
But that's what it says.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I think that if a woman marries a man and she decides to take his last name, that they have different roles and responsibilities within that marriage, and I believe that.
That's not the question.
I believe the father. The father hands her.
Don't behave like a politician.
The father hands her to the man.
Right, but don't be a politician, because I think you're a straight talker, right? You keep telling me you're a straight talker. I think my sister is her husband's property. Do you regret saying it like that?
I understand that with my...
I mean, you can't use regret, you know. Andrew Tate is not a guy that is going to regret anything. He's not apologetic. He's not going to apologize for it. He's not going to like, oh, well, I'm sorry. He's not even going to say sorry. So what are you trying to do, man? It's like, you're wasting your time. You know, just let him say what he has to say and then just move on to the next question. Don't try to prove a point with someone like Andrew Tate. He's not going to give you what you want. He's playing the politician game, the card on you or something. I don't know.
My newfound fame, perhaps it could be phrased differently. However, I still believe that a woman is given to the man in marriage. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but not as property.
No, the property is the word that other people use when they ask me the question.
But as an equal partner in a loving union. That's what marriage actually means. It doesn't mean that when you get married, the woman is given to you as a bit of chattel.
Agreed.
So why say it?
But that's the way that people ask me the question. People say to me, they ask the question.
Hang on. You can't blame people for asking you questions. Surely, if you want to be accountable for what you've said, you've got to own your responses, not blame the question.
He got him there. You can see Andrew's just, is cornered. Is cornered. You know, when you do a debate with someone and you gotta they have to ask you twice the same question, that means you're just off. You cornered, man. I mean, let's see how he's gonna get out of this.
I own the response.
Be like me ask you a question now and you say something and then say, well, actually, I blame you for asking.
I understand, Piers. Piers, I understand. I believe the woman is given to the man. I believe she's given away by the father. I believe she belongs to the man.
So fundamentally, all right, so fundamentally you do believe that a woman becomes a man's property at marriage.
I believe she belongs to the man in marriage, correct.
Right.
But not a property. You see, the word property, every time it comes up, is avoiding it for some reason. He's avoiding it. I mean, if you want to stand for whatever you say and you're a straightforward talker, and I mean, you should have maybe take it on. Like, yeah, I just say she's a property, you know, and then let's see how this thing will go.
Oh, you see, that to me is misogyny.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
Right. But do you not understand why people think it is misogyny?
I understand why some people can be very offended by what I say. What they do is they take a point.
I mean, sorry for pausing this, but I kind of see where this is going, because he probably did it, you know, purposefully. Yeah.
Like that, and they ignore all the other points I make the other way around.
Yeah, but that's why I've repeatedly asked you about that line to see if you've changed your position. But the reality is you haven't.
It's not about changing positions. I'm a full-grown adult, and I stick by the things I say, and I'm responsible for them.
Which, by the way, is fine.
Absolutely.
But what you did say at the start of this little exchange, you said, you know, I wouldn't maybe say things the same way now that I did before I was famous. And yet, actually, you've doubled down and said exactly the same thing.
On certain points.
So that is what you believe. And that's my point.
Yes.
I'm trying to work out, look, I don't know you. We've
Correct.
just met, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who Andrew Tate is and what you actually believe. I don't want to twist anything at all.
Then let me make it very, very clear to the camera. I believe a woman is given to the man in marriage. I believe that. I also believe a man has a duty to protect and provide for her. I believe a man should lay down his life if something happens or his wife's life is threatened. I believe that women and children first are on the lifeboats.
But men,
I believe that men.
But a man doesn't own a woman.
It's not. No. It's okay.
Unless they literally buy them as a slave.
Well, obviously we're not talking about that. We're talking about religious, biblical marriage. We're talking about something else.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian.
Yeah. I mean, biblical view, it's not a property. I don't know where you get that from. That's why I was a little off when I was like, oh, you a Christian? I believe in the Bible and all that. I'm like, yeah, man, this is not what the Bible stands for. But, you know, you in this situation, you can use anything. Like, when you got cornered in the debate, you're just going to find anything in your power, anything possible around you. Just get out of that situation. And plus, he's trying to justify the fact that he said women is a property of a man. I think he got cornered on that, and then he's like, oh, man, what am I going to do now, you know? How am I going to pick anything just around? He's trying to use the Bible probably to just, you know, maybe this guy that I'm talking to doesn't know much about the Bible. Let me just use the Bible. And if he knows about, if Piers knows about the Bible, then he's going to shut him down. Again, let's watch.
I don't believe that I own my wife.
Do you believe your wife was given away to you when she took your last name?
I believe that there is a...
Not given away. I mean, I don't know. This English is kind of weird. It's not given away. Like given, not given away.
A process where a father traditionally walks his daughter down the aisle and hands his daughter to this man, and they stand there and become a union of two loving people in a partnership. No, there's no ownership involved.
I didn't say ownership.
He's not selling her. The father of the bride isn't selling his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely.
Well, that's what property means.
She becomes a member of your family.
Is it?
I think we're all...
Becoming a member of a family is not owning her. It's really not owning her. I mean, Andrew, just let it go. You said it, you got misunderstood, and let's move on. Well, you guys are just...
arguing over semantics.
We're not, though, because fundamentally, I don't believe a man owns a woman. You do.
Well, I don't think a man owns any sovereign individual. I don't think we live in the world of slavery. I don't own any man or any woman.
Right.
Nobody owns
When
anybody.
you use phrases like property, that's what you imply.
I understand.
And so my point again is, you're a smart guy, right?
Correct.
There's no denying that. You're smart, you're a good talker. I've seen a lot of the stuff. But when what I don't think you quite fully understand...
No, I understand very well,
when
Piers.
young, impressionable people
who
are not as smart see things like, I think my sister is her husband's property, yes, and you've just reaffirmed that belief. They think that they have the right to own women.
I understand that very well, Piers. Which is
That's why people think you're a misogynist.
Completely. I understand all of this very well, which is why when you're saying I was backtracking, I'm not.
Do you have any regret, though, over the way you phrase this stuff?
Well, this is the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is...
Don't try to... Man, Piers, I don't know what he's trying to do here. It's just make him, like, regret or apologize for things that he said. He's not going to do it. I don't know. Maybe down the video is going to say he's going to do it, but I don't believe for a second this guy is going to apologize for whatever he said.
When I was not nearly as famous and I was making long format content, I was not sitting there anticipating I'd become the most Googled man on the planet and that a few seconds could be taken out of context. That was not my anticipation.
No, but it's still what you believed. It's what you believe now. So what's the difference?
It's not about, you're asking me, you're saying that young people...
Man, you cornered. You cornered, man.
If you said to me, look, Piers, honestly, I've had time to think about this, and I wish I hadn't said it, I don't believe that. That's one thing. Actually, you've said the opposite. You said, actually, that's what I think, yeah.
I think that when a...
So it doesn't really matter whether you recorded it when you're famous or not famous. It's what you actually believe, right?
I believe that a man has a duty to protect and provide for a woman. I believe that a woman's father gives her away to the man. That's what I believe.
This doesn't look good on you, man. You just say things back then. But I can see why you're doing this, because you can't. Yeah, they can't get you to agree with those things. You know, you just have to cover your butt, man. And that's what you're doing. You're doing it pretty well. But this guy won't let you go until he proves his point. You know, the purpose of it is just to make people think that Andrew Tate is a misogynist. And he's trying to stick to that point because that's where he gets you. And he's not going to move on. We're going to spend another 15 minutes just talking about this because that's where he gets you. And the more you're trying to play around, the more you're trying to go, side by side, it's proving his point, and it's making you look weaker because you can't stand on whatever you said.
My marriage, that's the circumstance I'm going to live under. If people want to live in a different scenario, that's completely theirs. Their prerogative.
You went on to say about authority over women. If I have a responsibility over her, I must have a degree of authority.
Finally, move on.
For the same reason, if I have responsibility over and people are going to use their mind, it's an example, an analogy. Responsibility over a child, I have to have some authority. Yeah. So you believe as part of your ownership or your property of the woman, you have authority over her.
No, I believe if you have...
That's what you said.
I believe if you have responsibility over something, you have to have a degree of authority or you can't be responsible.
Yeah, but authority means, again, that you're the boss.
The point I'm making, if you'll please let me finish at this point. The point I was trying to make was talking about the safety of a woman. She was walking alone at night, and I was saying, well, I wouldn't let my woman walk alone at night. And they said, well, you're not in charge of her, you don't get to decide what she does. I said, I understand, but if I'm responsible for her safety, and I'm the person who's burdened with making sure she is safe, I have to have the authority to say, don't put yourself in unsafe situations. The two things are linked.
Well, you don't have authority. You can absolutely have the right to say to the woman you're with, I don't think you should, but ultimately...
If she decides, then I can't force her.
Right, so authority implies that you have the ability to control someone.
No, authority implies that I have the moral right to sit and say that that's an irresponsible thing to do and I'm responsible for it.
That's not what authority means.
Well, I'm not going to... If you think I'm going to lock somebody up in their room, is that what you're implying?
No, I don't think you know what authority means.
I know what it means. I'm saying that if
I just a different description of what authority means.
If I have responsibility for her safety, then I have to have the authority to tell her not to do unsafe.
Yeah, but authority means that you have some form of control over this woman.
It's a good question, though. Authority means you have some type of control over that woman.
When every second counts.
I think what you're trying to
I'm only trying to get to what you think. Honestly, I am. I come with no agenda here at all.
I understand. And I'm explaining very, very clearly. If I have responsibility over said subject, I have to have authority over it. So let me say you have children, right?
Right.
You have responsibility for them.
No, I have legal authority over my children. That is very different to having legal authority over my wife or my...
Andrew Tate, you got... I don't know, man. Those points are really critical when you say things like that, and you compare it to, you know, people are so sensitive. When you give an example like, oh well, with the children it happens like this, people will link it together and they'll be like, well, you're comparing your wife to a child, you know, some, you know, it's you know, if you do debate, I don't know if this is a debate or it's just a conversation, but it looks like a kind of debate for me. But you know, anything you say will come back against you. Anything. Like, for now, it's saying, you know, Piers is saying that it doesn't have an agenda, but apparently it does. You know, just to prove a point that you are a misogynist. That's what he gathered from all your videos, and he's trying to prove a point. You know, and everything that you said that that helps him to get to that level or to get to that specific result, he's gonna use it against you. They're not gonna talk about every good thing that you did, every beautiful stuff that you did, every good advice you gave to men, but they're just gonna stick to the misogynistic point because they're trying to give a reason why you got banned, and those rights to ban you because, you know, you say things like this, you know. But anyways, guys, it's been an honor and pleasure to be with you guys here, and we're gonna do a part 2 later on because it's already 30 minutes. I can see my clock right now. This was interesting. I don't know if it's good enough. I don't know. Sorry for the ads and stuff. Maybe I will cut this to just have a clear version of it. But that was good. That was really good, and hopefully we'll keep on doing it again. Hopefully we're gonna get something out of this. With that being said, I say thank you guys for stopping by, and it's been an honor and pleasure. You know, give a like, share, subscribe, you know, give a little love to your guy, you know. But you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you.